Chapter 3. Please keep that in. They like,
so you can use that now. Are you crazy?
They like, we never see her off that couch. Wow.
Chapter 3.
Chapter 3.
Oh man.
I'm not gonna read the titles and subtitles
because we get introduced to a new character here.
Yeah, it's like
which
every chapter.
Kind of like we expected because he just got rid of B&T.
Right.
And he probably feels like he needs somebody close to him.
Yeah, he's got to, and he needs people close to him. Like that's a part of him.
That's his character.
Yeah, I'm sticking to it.
And the chapter is shorter because I'm a woman of my word.
Thank God.
But sometime later, which is good. He took some time.
Yes.
King Xerxes promoted Haman, son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, over all the other nobles, making him the most powerful official in the empire. All the king's officials would bow down before Haman to show him respect whenever he passed by, for so the king had commanded. But Mordecai refused to bow down or show him respect. Then the palace officials at the king's gate asked Mordecai, "Why are you disobeying the king's command?" They spoke to him day after day, but still he refused to comply with the order. So they spoke to Haman about this to see if he would tolerate Mordecai's conduct, since Mordecai had told them he was a Jew.
Oh.
When Haman saw that Mordecai would not bow down or show him respect, he was filled with rage. He had learned of Mordecai's nationality, so he decided it was not enough to lay hands on Mordecai alone. Instead, he looked for a way to destroy all the Jews throughout the entire empire of Xerxes. Lay hands on this.
Like, come on.
Because who wrote this?
Right. Is it the Message?
It's giving the Message version.
Because what?
It's also giving Black History Month.
Okay.
So in the month of April, during the 12th year of King Xerxes' reign, lots were cast in Haman's presence. The lots were called Purim, to determine the best day and month to take action. And the day selected was March 7th, nearly a year later. Then Haman approached King Xerxes and said, "There is a certain race of people scattered through all the provinces of your empire who keep themselves separate from everyone else. Their laws are different from those of any other people, and they refuse to obey the laws of the king. So it is in the king's interest to let them live." Oh, so it is not in the king's interest to let them live.
Yeah.
If it please the king, issue a decree that they be destroyed, and I will give 10,000 large sacks of silver to the government administrators to be deposited in the royal treasury. Where's he getting this money?
Oh, money.
The king agreed, confirming his decision by removing his signet ring from his finger and giving it to Haman, son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, the enemy of the Jews. See how they added that there?
They did.
The king said, "The money and the people are both yours to do with as you see fit." So on April 17th, the king's secretaries were summoned, and a decree was written exactly as Haman dictated. It was sent to the king's highest officers, the governors of the respective provinces, and the nobles of each province in their own scripts and languages. The decree was written in the name of King Xerxes and sealed with the king's signet ring. Dispatches were sent by swift messengers to all the provinces of the empire, giving the order that all the Jews, young and old, including women and children, must be killed, slaughtered, and annihilated on a single day. This was scheduled to happen on March 7th of the next year. The property of the Jews would be given to those who killed them. A copy of this decree was to be issued as law in every province and proclaimed to all peoples, so that they would be ready to do their duty on the appointed day. At the king's command, the decree went out by swift messengers, and it was also proclaimed in the fortress of Susa. Then the king and Haman sat down to drink. But the city of Susa fell into confusion.
I sat down to have a drink.
Yeah, it's giving very evil plot.
Like, huh? But let's go back.
Haman is on the scene.
Yeah.
He is a descendant of the Agagites.
Yeah.
Which we know.
Yeah.
Before they tell us is the enemy of the Jews.
Yeah.
But he is having an issue with Uncle Morty.
He is. He's second in command.
Yes, he is very high up.
He's the most
powerful official in all the empires.
Yeah. 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 Once we get introduced to Haman, baby.
The story is...
I'm telling you, he just comes up on the scene and just...
Yeah.
Yeah, he shakes things up. So
let's talk about these messy palace officials.
Let's talk about them.
Because they're sick. They're like, yo, you never bow down when Haman comes through. Like, and you don't... And I like that they differentiate between bowing and showing him respect. He doesn't bow or show respect.
Yeah, Mordecai,
on some like, who are you?
Yeah. But Haman, why are people even required to bow down to you?
The king ordered it.
I know, but Haman.
We know Haman wanted the king.
Haman.
But Haman is very like, I'm that dude.
Legitimately.
That's the king, it's me.
The character, like we were speaking of, what do we know about King Xerxes, right? Like with Haman, we don't get this like whole background of him, but we know he was promoted to this really high like title, right? He has power. Mm-hmm. He has authority, not just in the palace, right? But wherever all the king's providences.
Yeah.
And he has like this expectation, and it's not like unspoken because the king authorized this expectation of everyone just bowing to him and showing him respect. And I get the respect piece, but it kind of speaks to, that's just him.
Yeah, this is what he wants.
This is what he wants, right? And like, there's entitlement there.
There is.
Right? There's entitlement, but then there's also resistance.
Yeah.
Which is what we saw in chapter 1 as well with King Xerxes. There was entitlement, right? Where I'm expecting someone to do something because you're technically below me or a subordinate. But then there's resistance from someone. The someone is Mordecai.
Yeah.
He doesn't respect him. Yeah. That's well known. And like that's just a thing.
Plain and simple.
Yeah, like Mordecai, like this bull right here, like he don't respect you. He also refuses to bow. Like he refuses to bow.
Yeah, like it's a no for me.
Yeah.
And the officials, I like that they're like, not only does he not respect you, not only is he refusing to bow, but he's also a Jew.
Yeah.
Like they're holding that against him as well. So you gonna let this Jew talk to you like that?
Yeah.
You gonna let the Jew not bow?
Like the bull that's like not from here, like this is not even his homeland.
He's not from here. He's not one of us. You have a stranger not respecting our customs, our rules.
Yeah. We also see emotions are at play here too, which is something that we saw in chapter 1 as well, right?
Feelings,
the emotions, the feelings that come out, right? Anger, rage, like when there's this expectation that's not met, then anger comes out, right? And
that's us.
Literally, that's us. Like we get tight over it when things don't go our way.
OMG.
And then when things don't go our way, if we decide to take matters into our own hands and like take action, here's this ripple effect again.
Yeah.
Here's another decree. We're not even gonna get there yet, but like there's this ripple effect. Yeah. There's a choice that we get to make choices, right? Because we have free will, right? So we have emotions. We're human, right? And then depending on the choice we make, like that always comes with consequences, which always has this ripple effect.
That doesn't only affect you.
Yeah.
But affects a whole people.
For sure.
Same with Mordecai.
Yeah.
He could have easily been like, Mordecai doesn't respect me, and so I gotta get rid of Mordecai. He goes, Mordecai doesn't respect me, all the Jews have to go.
Oh, they have to go. They're gonna, we're gonna annihilate them. That word? Annihilate?
Women and children.
A whole race of people?
How dangerous is anger, is rage, when we don't call those feelings under subjection to the power of God. You know what I mean? And I'm like, back then I get it. King Xerxes, Haman, they're not Jewish. They don't believe in the one true living God, but they're humans like us. Yeah. How often is our anger so dangerous?
Listen,
that we're willing to annihilate. We're willing to, women and children.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who. We're willing to kill. We're willing to destroy.
Yeah.
We're willing to get rid of. And sometimes it may not be physically, but what we use with our mouth.
Yeah.
The tongue holds life and death.
For sure.
What we're willing to do when we're angry is dangerous.
For sure. I'm reminded right now too of even my husband. So shout out to my husband, Addie. Shout out to Addie.
Addie does.
It's like the second time Addie got shout out on YouTube. I don't know what's going on. Anyway. So
is Addie famous?
He might be. I don't know. Am I famous? I don't know. But anyway, so
she's famous.
It's reminding me of, so he used to be an anger management teacher to youth. One of the principles that he teaches the youth about anger is that anger is a secondary emotion.
Yeah.
There's usually some emotion that comes before we feel or tap into anger.
Right.
Disappointment. Embarrassment. Oh boy, fear, disrespect. You know, like we can see all of that here, right? So like we go through like this feeling, we go through this emotion, and then if we're not careful with how we steward our emotion or our initial emotion, it can lead to anger, which can lead to other things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's very dangerous. Like we do have to like ask God to like bring our feelings into subjection and allow the Holy Spirit to help us make the right decision.
Absolutely.
You know?
Because in our flesh, we be kind of.
I'm telling you.
And we see that cutting up leads to a decree that's being made. Haman approaches the king, and the king is kind of on some like, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Do what you gotta do. Like,
there's money involved.
Yeah, like, and the king is so trusting of Haman.
Yes.
That he doesn't even take the time to write out the decree himself. He gives him the access. He gives him the signet ring to like do whatever you want and just sign it that I'm behind you.
How dangerous is that when we give somebody the power,
the
authority to literally write a narrative that is attached to us and our legacy?
Does this not like reflective of Esau giving over his birthright?
Listen.
I'll give you the birthright. I'm hungry right now.
The danger of just
like unthought out decisions.
I mean, just sliding you the pen.
Yeah, you do it.
No. And and this is something that literally is attached to his name forever.
Yeah.
We're reading this today in 2025.
Yeah.
Wild.
He's literally signing a death sentence for his wife.
Yeah.
His queen.
For sure.
And he doesn't even know it.
Doesn't know. Yeah.
Wow. So this is signed. They have a date.
Yeah.
They're going to the Jews are due, young and old, women and children.
Everybody.
To be killed, to be slaughtered, to be annihilated, to happen next year, March 7th.
Everybody.
And this is sent out to everyone. And the king and Haman are having a drink while the city's falling into confusion.
Yeah.
Because they're wondering what happened.
Yeah.
How did we get here?
Yeah. And we talked about this a bit with the girls too, right? Like imagine if you were a Jew and this decree just hit. You're like, huh? What's going on?
Yeah.
Like there's literally like a death sentence over your head. Like knowing that in a year things are going to turn up and like we may not be here.
And you know what's crazy? For all this time that they've been there, they've been under the radar. They know that they're displaced. They know they don't fit in. But no one bothers me. I don't bother anyone.
Yeah.
And it seems unfair. It seems like an attack. It seems very cruel. And I can only imagine that being a Jew, you're like, God, I thought you brought us here to get us out of Nebuchadnezzar's hairs. And, you know, this is not our home, but we're safe here for now.
Yeah.
And now they're trying to annihilate us. There's a day for them to annihilate us.
Yeah.
Like,
we've seen that over and over in scripture. You know, children of Israel being brought out of Egypt, and then
bring us out here and kill us.
You know, like we've seen that over and over. Like
Israelites are dramatic.
Yeah,
we don't know what happened here.
We don't know, but you know, we know these are people that were like literally like brought out of a place and are here. But now there's literally this threat of death. Like things are shaken up here for them. Like things are getting serious for them. And the ripple effect came because of the refusal to bow.
Yeah.
And you spoke about it earlier with Mordecai's character, right? Mordecai realizes that like he's not from this land. Like this is not the roots of his people, but he's staying true to his value.
Yeah.
Like he's not bowing to Haman.
Yeah.
Like he's standing on that, but then because of that, there's this threat against the people of God.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
And we're about to find out what happens because of this. Because Haman's made a name for himself in one chapter. Mordecai, we see, is also making a name for himself.
For sure.
And Queen Esther is not even mentioned here.
She's not. Her people are, though.
Her people are.
And she's still holding her secret that she is a Jew.
Yes. And chapter 4 is about to be Chapter 4 is my chapter.
All right, let's go.
Chapter 4. When Mordecai learned about all that had been done, He tore his clothes, put on burlap and ashes, and went out into the city, crying with a loud and bitter wail. He went as far as the gates of the palace, for no one was allowed to enter the palace gate while wearing clothes of mourning. And as the news of the king's decree reached all the provinces, there was great mourning among the Jews. They fasted, wept, and wailed, and many people lay in burlap and ashes. When Queen Esther's maids and eunuchs came and told her about Mordecai, she was deeply distressed. She sent clothing to him to replace the burlap, but he refused it. Then Esther sent for Hathach, one of the king's eunuchs who had been appointed as her attendant. She ordered him to go to Mordecai and find out what was troubling him and why he was in mourning. So Hathach went out to Mordecai in the square in front of the palace gate. Mordecai told him the whole story, including the exact amount of money he had promised to pay into the royal treasury for the destruction of the Jews. Mordecai gave Hathach a copy of the decree issued in Susa that called for the death of all Jews. He asked Hathach to show it to Esther and explain the situation to her. He also asked Hathach to direct her to go to the king to beg for mercy and plead for her people. So Hathach returned to Esther with Mordecai's message. Then Esther told Hathach to go back and relay this message to Mordecai. All the king's officials and even the people in the provinces know that anyone who appears before the king in his inner court without being invited is doomed to die unless the king holds out his gold scepter. And the king has not called for me to come to him for 30 days. So Hathach gave Esther's message to Mordecai. Mordecai sent this reply to Esther. Don't think for a moment that because you're in the palace, you will escape when all other Jews are killed. If you keep quiet at a time like this, deliverance and relief for the Jews will arise from some other place. But you and your relatives will die. Who knows if perhaps you were made queen for such a time as this. Then Esther sent this reply to Mordecai. Go and gather together all the Jews of Susa and fast for me. Do not eat or drink for 3 days, night or day. My maids and I will do the same. And then, though it is against the law, I will go in to see the king. If I must die, I must die. So Mordecai went away and did everything as Esther had ordered him. Child, Mordecai had to say to Esther, don't think for a little second that just because you're in that palace, that you're going to be exempt from everything that's happening outside of the palace.
You are still Jewish.
Because you are still Jewish, babe.
You are still Jewish.
You still one of us.
Listen, in the words of our beloved, one of our beloved pedals, Mordecai clocked her tea. Clocked her tea. Point blank.
Wow.
A lot is happening.
And this is literally my favorite verse. If you keep quiet at a time like this, deliverance and relief for the Jews will arise from some other place.
Yeah.
It will arise from some other place.
It will.
If you don't want to be the one, that's fine. Because God will make someone else the one.
Yeah.
If you don't want to carry out what God has for you on earth, that's fine.
Yeah.
Because it'll still be carried out. You just won't be a part of it.
Yeah. He can use another vessel.
He can use another vessel because all we are vessels.
Yeah.
We're just vessels to bring about his will on earth. But whether you choose to do it or not does not mean that his will won't come about. Can you imagine? I know this is a tangent. If Noah was like, I'm not building an ark.
Right.
That's crazy.
Okay. God
no problem.
Use someone else.
I'll use someone else.
For sure. For sure.
It doesn't mean that the ark won't be built.
His will get accomplished. The scriptures must be fulfilled.
They must be fulfilled. Mary, if you don't want to do this, that's fine.
Yeah.
We'll use someone else.
Yeah.
Because Jesus has to be born.
But obedience.
Obedience.
With the blessing of obedience.
Okay, let me scroll to the top.
Yeah, let's go back.
Mordecai is in mourning.
He is publicly. Oh, man.
He goes straight back to his customs.
Yeah.
Straight back to what I would have done if I was in the walls of Jerusalem.
Burlap and ashes. Like, everyone needs to know.
Everyone needs to know.
I am mourning. Like,
and it's not just him. There's a great mourning among the Jews.
Yeah.
They're fasting. They're weeping. They're wailing. Yeah. People are in burlap and in ashes.
Yeah. He's outside.
He's outside.
The king's palace in mourning.
And Esther finds out about this through her maids and her eunuchs.
How, and this is what we talk about with the girls.
How far removed is she?
How far removed, Esther, that literally there's this threat of death, of being annihilated.
And she's enjoying grapes.
Yeah, I definitely picture the banana leaf fans. Like,
oh, that banana leaf?
I think so. Or monsteras, or
I don't know.
Shout out to plant mamas. Yeah. But like, how far removed are you that you don't know what's going on? That somebody has to inform you about literally the outpouring of grief amongst your people.
Yeah.
That's wild to me.
But how often do we get in positions of power and authority and forget where we came from?
Oh boy. Ouch. Ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah, no, because I'm 6 figures now. Because I got my house now.
Oh boy.
Low key, I remember when I first got my home and my mom calling me like, so you just forgot about it.
Right. You just up here just living.
Yeah, so I guess you don't.
Just in the palace.
In the palace. And you don't visit your parents. You don't call us. You don't check on us.
Ouch.
And I literally was like, oh, you right.
Ouch.
I'm wildin'. I'm wildin'.
Yeah.
I had been so eager to get out.
Yeah.
So eager to live this new life. So eager to be out on my own. So eager to experience the things that I've never experienced before. Yeah. That I forgot where I came from. Because I got this house and it was less than months. And they were like, dang, you just left.
Wow. You don't even know what's going on around here.
And I didn't. Listen, I was the last to find out everything because I was not connected.
You don't even know this so-and-so had a falling out with it. You don't know nothing.
None of the tea of the family.
Nothing.
I was like, what?
Nothing.
She's who?
Listen.
Because we truly get disconnected
We
sometimes.
We do.
We get disconnected.
We do.
How often have we like skipped out like, oh, I don't feel well, I'm not going to go to church. And that becomes a week and then 2 weeks. Yeah. We haven't done, and then we're like, yo. Yeah. But you're enjoying because you're like, oh, I feel at peace. I'm well rested now. But I've been able to cook food. I've been able to meal prep. And then God is like, yeah, but you're disconnected.
But disconnected.
And you haven't checked on me?
And God forbid a threat comes. You might not even be able to realize it, which is scary.
You can't even recognize a threat.
Oof. Ooh. Scary stuff.
You don't even know what's going on because you're so disconnected.
Yeah.
And it affects you directly.
Yeah.
There's something happening in the outside world. You've gated yourself so much. Yeah. And you don't even know this is a threat to your life because you're so disconnected.
Imagine.
We need to tap in.
We gotta stay tapped in. Got to.
Because there's spiritual warfare all around us.
Yeah.
But some of us miss it because we're not tapped in.
Yeah. Oof. Oh, man.
Yeah. That's to tap in, babe.
Tap in.
So, Esther's maids, thank God, her eunuchs are like, girl, get up.
Thank God. Wait. Also, the secret is still not out, really.
Yeah.
That Esther is Jewish.
Right.
But the maids do inform her of this.
Yes.
Like, hello.
Because they tell her about her cousin Mordecai. They know, like, that's your man. He's
out here wilding.
Yeah. He looks bad. He's down bad.
Like, ashes on him. Like, boy.
Yeah.
It was I pictured the NFL. I'm sorry.
Is that what they do?
I don't.
Is it not just?
I don't.
Like Ash Wednesday?
I don't know. Just edit this out because I don't know. Don't know what it looks like. Never Google
edit this out because Mordecai's giving football player in your head.
Yeah, he is. He's giving Jalen Hurts.
Okay, I'm not gonna comment on that.
But yeah, the maids inform her like your man's is literally out here. Like, what's happening? And she has to find out what's happening. Yeah. So here we see the famous what we worked with the pedals on. It's like this is like the text message thread chapter.
Yeah.
We see a lot of messages happening between.
And forth. Yeah.
Yeah, Mordecai and Esther. Yeah.
And Esther is clearly not grasping the gravity of the situation. Yeah. Because her initial response is, oh, send him some clothes.
Yeah. Ah.
You know what I mean?
Oh my God, the message of that.
And Mordecai is probably like, that's low key, and that's happening in verse 4. Mordecai doesn't get to tell Esther what's up until verse 14. Yeah. So for 10 verses, Mordecai's probably like, girl. Yeah. Sending me clothes. I'm mourning. I'm grieving.
People are already fasting and everything.
And weeping and waiting. Yeah. And you are. Yeah. Get him out of those clothes.
You're sending clothes when you should be in these clothes. How?
Thank you so much for joining us on theVine.
Hello?
You're sending clothes when you should be in these clothes. You're telling me to get up when you should be in this posture. Yeah. Your posture's off.
It's off. It is.
I'm mourning. I'm weeping. I'm in the darkest season of my life. And you're like, girl, let's go out for drinks.
Yeah. The darkest season of our lives. Yeah. Yeah.
Our
Yeah. The ripple effect.
Come on, let's just go out. Girl, no, come on, we're going to shake this off for you. No.
No.
You need to be here with me in this place.
For sure. For sure.
And you want to
for sure
send me clothes?
Your posture is off and your position is off. Your position is off.
Your discernment is off.
Yeah.
You're not tapped in.
Yeah. Yeah. I can imagine what that felt like from Mordecai to like,
I raised you.
Oh, God.
Where did I go wrong?
That's I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even mad. I'm disappointed.
And also, can we like note that for good reason, Esther is afraid.
Yeah.
She has not seen the king in 30 days.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's also, there's a threat over her head, right?
Yeah.
She doesn't know the big threat over her head, but she does know.
She knows of a little threat.
She knows of a little threat. She does know that. Yeah, it's still big. Still a threat of death, right? She does know that if she does things out of order, even though she's the queen.
And she's saying everybody knows this, not just me.
Everybody
knows that if you do this, this is death.
Including you, Mordecai. You know this as well.
That. So you asked me to risk my life.
Yeah. And he's like, babes, I'm asking you to risk your life because all of our lives are on the line. Risk.
Yeah.
Our people. Our lineage.
And you know what it is? Mordecai is almost saying, like, you're looking at it as risking your life, and I'm looking at it as God placed you here.
Yeah.
For such a time as this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he knew that we would need representation.
Yeah.
He knew that we would need an aid. He knew that we would need someone on the inside to look out for us on the outside.
For sure. For sure. Wait, quick pause. Like, there's definitely a like unsung hero of this story being Haytak.
Yeah.
Who is like delivering.
Unsung hero's hilarious.
Delivering all these messages.
Because this is what I'm saying. He's like.
Literally going back and forth.
How long did this exchange take?
I don't know.
You think it was this like all in the same day? He was just running back and forth. And then Mordecai said, hold on.
Right.
He said that,
and you got to get it right.
Yeah, you have to get it right.
Because the details matter here.
Yeah.
Like, everything that's said matters. But he's the one that's responsible for delivering this message. And he's to be trusted as well. Sure. I just have to shout that out. Like,
yeah.
Like, you know, sometimes that's us. We're not the main characters, but God is using us.
Characters to get that message across. It's so necessary. But isn't that what we do? We're here trusted to get the message across.
For sure.
God is not saying, I need you to save them. God is not saying, you bring them to Christ. I just need you to get the message out.
For sure. And get it right.
Get it right. Because too many messages are not right.
Telephone. When you play
it's dangerous.
Yeah.
And Nikki knows this because we teach the girls different lessons. This is not our first rodeo. And when we deep dive with the girls. And so when we really mold over a word, Noah, and we hear it regurgitated by someone else, and we're like, no, we read that a gazillion times. That's not what the Bible says.
Not the message. That's not the message. Like,
get it right.
Yeah. Get it right.
If you're going to bring the message out, if you're going to have a platform to do that, you better be getting it right.
If you're called to carry the message.
Can you imagine if Haytak got the message wrong?
I'm telling you.
Well, no, Mordecai's fine. He accepted the clothes.
Yeah.
Because he was like, I'm too tired to do this.
Or if he wanted to like intercept on his own and add his own flavor into it.
So we finally get to the part where Mordecai is like, listen, such time as this. Yeah. And Esther gets it together.
Yeah.
And she's like, all right. You go fast. I'm going to fast. I'm going to have my maids do the same.
Yeah.
And though it is against the law, she's going to go see the king. Mm-hmm. And it's, if I must die, I must die.
Yeah. Which is a very bold declaration.
Right.
Right. It's something where she stepped out on her faith. I also like the fact that the way Esther approached the conversation shifted too from asking for advice to saying, this is what I need you to do. She locked in.
Yeah.
She locked in.
Yeah.
She locked in.
Something shifted in her.
Something definitely shifted in her.
But isn't that just like when we talk to each other and I could call you like blah, 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 and you have to almost ignite someone?
Yes.
You need people around you that can ignite you when your candle is like dimming.
Yeah.
Because too often we go to people whose candles are not even lit. Ooh. And instead of looking for an ignition, we get a quench.
Ooh. Or we're iron. And we go look for another metal. But iron is what sharpens iron. Oof. You know, so there was a shift, right? You can see, you can feel when you're reading that, like, Esther started walking in her power.
Yeah, there's completely someone different said that last message.
Yeah, she's like, go and gather together all the Jews.
That was authority
For sure. That was also like this lens of, okay, I need my people rallying behind me. When at the beginning of this chapter we had seen she was a bit oblivious.
Yeah, she's by herself on this.
She was.
She's enjoying her life.
She was.
She taps into something here.
For sure.
The prayers of the righteous availeth.
Oh, for sure.
She taps into the community. She taps into the body.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How often are we saying we're part of the body, but we're out doing our own thing?
For sure. For sure. And it's easy to get to that place, too. Of
course.
It's very easy to get to that place. And I think society and flesh will just tell us that, like, oh, you're just out here by yourself. You're just out here by yourself.
Doing
but we're not.
Thing. Yeah.
We're not.
We're not.
That's not how it is. We need community. We need, like, you know, the Holy Spirit. Like, we need to be led. We're not just out here operating and functioning by ourselves.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is where these verses around verse 16 are very popular because, you know, people do the Esther fast, no eating or drinking. But this was really powerful because with the decision to fast and go before the Lord, and we know that some things only come through fasting and prayer, right? We know that, like, with this decision, we know that there's a boldness that comes when the Holy Spirit, like, really is, like, activated within us. So this line, and this is a very popular line too, that if I perish, I perish, or if I must die, I die, is like, literally, I'm giving it my all here, knowing that even if I go before the king and I have to die, then that's just what it is. I did what I had to do. I walked in obedience.
Yeah. And obedience is better than sacrifice.
It is. It is.
So she could have easily been like, I'm going to send something to this and I'm going to give you guys. And she's like, nah, I got to be obedient to what needs to be done.
And it had to be her.
It had to be her.
Right? Like,
it had to be her.
Once Mordecai clocked her tea and said, like, you know, well, if you don't do it, then God will just raise somebody else. Like,
and I know me. I'm like, oh, you ain't going to take that.
Listen.
You're going to take the opportunity from me. You've already, like, charged my spirit. She probably felt convicted. And it's like, nah, I will do. It has to be me.
Has to be me.
And if I die, I die.
Yeah. Oh, man. What a place. Like, you know, foreshadowing here too, obviously, like, we know, like, Jesus had to literally bear the sins of the world. We know that he knew what he had to do. He literally came to go on the cross, to die, right? To be buried, to be resurrected for us. But, like, what a place we get to when we know we have to die to ourselves sometimes, or we know there's a threat of death, but we just persevere anyway.
Yeah.
What a place.
Yeah. When you've accepted, like,
accepted it.
This for Jesus, it was, this is my faith. For Esther, this could be my faith.
Yeah.
But regardless, there was a submission there.
For sure.
Was like, I'm accepting that's what has to happen.
For sure.
In order for things to move forward.
For sure. And with that, with this last, I've highlighted this last verse here in verse 17. So Mordecai went away and did everything as Esther had ordered him. The shift again.
Yeah. Because he was telling her.
Yes.
And now she's telling him.
She's telling him.
And both ways, there's an obedience there. Both ways, there's a submission there. The partnership that they have as family members, as a father-daughter type thing, and they're able to support and give each other what they need in that moment is phenomenal.
For sure, it is.
Because she has to be able to listen to Mordecai and get besides herself, but he also has to still understand, like, this is my queen.
Yes, it is. She is his queen.
Yeah, like, I raised you and all that stuff, but you're still my queen.
Wow. And there's a humility that comes with that.
There's a humility that comes with that.
You know, Black parents. I raised you.
But, your little friend.
Listen.
Who told you could have friends?
But
that was trauma talking.
Listen. Lord. And if you know, you know.
You know.
If you know, you know. But, like, things shifted, and, like, it takes that humility, it takes that submission, and he did everything that she said. And wow.
Woo! Chapter 4! This is my favorite chapter. We are going to catch you next time with chapter 5.